Silver is high right now. Does that mean it's too late to buy silver? Is it the right time to buy silver? Well, it's at all-time highs in the UK, but it's not quite at those all-time highs in the US dollar. So maybe there's some more room to grow as silver continues this bull run that it's on. But what about gold? Is gold still better? Oh, it's a difficult one. But if you had £10,000 worth of silver or £10,000 worth of gold, what would you prefer to own? Or what would you prefer to buy, I should say, with that £10,000 or $10,000? Would you go for silver? Would you go for gold? And why? That and many other questions we shall ask in today's Precious Metal Ramble. Everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another Precious Metal Ramble where we have down-to-earth discussions about all things precious and shiny. Now, silver, all-time highs in the UK, whilst you in the US might not be experiencing the highs of 2011 at $50 an ounce just yet. I'm pretty sure that will come at some point, by the way, but when that will happen, I don't exactly know. But the fact that silver is at these all-time highs, it makes you somewhat question if you're already a silver stacker, whether you should continue buying it. But I asked myself an interesting rhetorical question today, which is, if I had £10,000 worth to spend right now, would I buy £10,000 worth of spot price silver or £10,000 worth of spot price gold? And I think I would go with silver every time, and I'll tell you why in this video. Now, it's going to vary from person to person, of course, from geographic location to geographic location. In the US, for example, you're much easily able to get silver closer to spot than we are here in the UK. So for us, if we get presented with a spot price deal for silver, it feels really good. Whereas spot price gold in the UK is pretty much a common occurrence on social media and 1 or 2% over on spot price gold for dealers. So it's a fairly easy question for us to answer, and it's actually doubly good because silver, I think, has got a lot more volatility in it, a lot more potential, and I do think because we haven't seen those all-time highs for US dollar terms, $50 an ounce, for UK at £30 an ounce, there's still room to grow as silver continues to rise in that US dollar priced index. Now, it's going to vary from person to person, and I'd love for you to answer this rhetorical question down in the comment section for yourself. What would you buy right now if presented with £10,000 or $10,000 worth of your money? What would you buy, some silver or gold? It'd be interesting to see where the barometer lies on this. So comment down below, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, it would be great to hear what you've got to say. Now, for those who might be wondering, what does $10,000 or £10,000 I should say, worth of silver look like right now? Well, you're kind of looking at it. So at the moment, I'm seeing silver trading for around about £1,000 a kilo. It can vary depending on the kilo, it can vary depending on the seller, but just about £1,000 a kilo. And we have 10 just about kilos here. This is just slightly under a kilo, I admit, but we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 30 ounces on top. Give or take 1 or 2 ounces, we have 10 kilos worth. Now, the equivalent in gold is 4. Well, actually, it's less than 4 now because of the bloody price of gold, 2,700. It's like 3.75 ounces worth of gold, which is crazy, absolutely manic how different that is. Just to put that in a bit of perspective, so it's not quite 4 sovereigns per ounce, but we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, hang on, how many got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Just about that much gold is 10,000 compared with that much silver. So very interesting to see the difference. You're getting, I feel, you're getting a lot more value, I think, for your money in terms of quantity of metal. This one sovereign doesn't want to stay. There we go. Getting a lot more value in terms of like physical ownership of something. 10 kilos worth of silver. It's not a Backyard Bullion video if a sovereign doesn't go flying across my table. So you can shout at me down in the comments. It's provocative. It gets the people going. But you are getting a lot more for your money. The only problem with buying silver at spot price in the UK right now is that it's really quite difficult to do. To get silver at spot price, realistically, you're going to have to buy these big chunky bars. And they're probably going to have to be bigger than these kilos, if I'm being brutally honest. I'm not really seeing a great deal of kilos going at spot. And if there were, I'd be buying them up because it's the time of year that I look to try and get my silver supply going for the year ahead for silver pouring. So if there were silver at spot price deals, I would certainly jump on them and get them, but they're just not happening at the moment. You could maybe get those 100 ounce bars, those 5 kilo bars for spot price. In fact, I've got the remnants of this 5 kilo bar right here that I bought that I'm in the process of still trying to chop up and get little chunks off every now and again with my gigantic bolt cutters, but it's not very easy. And I think, but this is the premise of why I made this video. So I've got this. It's basically, of course, now it looks like scrap. I'm never going to be able to sell this really, but it's still got monetary value to it. And I could quite easily sell this to somebody for probably spot price, or maybe a touch under because of the way it looks, but I could then reuse that money to go and buy silver that I could actually chop up and actually use for my business. But right now, I've got a certain amount of silver supply. I probably will need this in some point in the future, but I'm quite happy just holding it because I do genuinely think silver's going to go up in price over the coming weeks and months. So we'll touch a little bit more on that comparison with gold after a quick word from today's video sponsor.
Global silver demand is surging across industrial, green energy and monetary use cases, whilst new supply remains stagnant, charting a structural deficit. The Silver Institute projects another 140 million ounces in deficit this year, following sustained shortfalls since 2022. Industries like solar, 5G, EVs and AI are voraciously consuming silver, propelling prices to 12-year highs above $41 an ounce, which is why I'm excited today to highlight our video sponsor Argenta Silver, US ticker symbol AGAGF, and their website and corporate presentation can be found linked in the description box below. Argenta Silver owns 100% of the El Cavar project located in Salta, Argentina. The project hosts an indicated resource of 45.3 million ounces of silver at grade 482 grams per tonne and an inferred resource of 4.1 million with 417 grams per tonne, making it one of Argentina's top 3 undeveloped silver deposits. Silver is near $42 an ounce, a 14-year high. Wall Street's Bank of America is forecasting $4,000 an ounce for gold, and very many people are excited about silver. GDX is up an insane 85%, and GDXJ is up 90%. One billionaire mining tycoon has just increased his position in Argenta Silver. On top of that, a prominent Argentinian businessman who has already invested millions in May this year has just raised his stake once more by millions of dollars just 2 weeks ago, which is the reason I am profiling this company for you again right now. The momentum is strong. Together, both of them now own roughly a quarter of this stock. This is why Argenta Silver stands out in the junior silver universe, a pure play in a superior jurisdiction, powered by elite backing, drilling momentum and unmatched value. The silver super cycle is here, and Argenta is one of the best exposed companies to ride it. Now, with all that said, it is important to remind you that this is not investment advice. I would caution anyone to do their own in-depth research. If you're interested, go and check them out. There is a link, as I said, in the description box to all the bits and bobs you've seen here on screen today. Thank you once again to Argenta Silver for sponsoring today's video, and now back on with our precious metal ramble.
So the main problem with silver is that it's not particularly valuable at the moment compared with gold. So you have here, as I said, 10 1 kilo pieces compared with just 13, 14 sovereigns. That's pretty stark in its difference. So in terms of the ratios at the moment, it's indicating that perhaps silver is that little bit undervalued. It was not that long ago that there was a 100-to-1 ratio for silver to gold. And if that ratio came back and we have £30 an ounce silver, then gold should be £3,000 an ounce, but it's not, it's 2,700. So if that ratio stays the same and gold stays around 2,700, we can easily see silver moving, don't know what the exact number would be, but it would be like £38 an ounce to get that ratio back to where it used to be just a few months ago. So there is more potential for silver, and I think one of the things that attracts me to silver as an investment rather than, so it's very difficult. I've got two hats on. So these are business assets. These will be chopped up and melted down for our poured silver. I will just do myself a little quick plug to say that our 100-gram silver forum bars, the hand-poured silver bars that we make every year, are in pre-order over on the Silver Forum. Links in the description box below for the pre-order and waiting list. That's all the sales I will do of those today. But I have two hats on. I have the silver that I have to buy for my business, melt down, and ultimately it doesn't necessarily matter too much what price I pay for them because I will put the premium on top of the poured silver and I make a bit of money on it. That's the business. That's just what it is. I'm not going to hide behind the shame of that P word, the profit word. That's just how business goes. But from a stacking perspective, from an investment perspective, I have to look at what's best for me and my financial circumstances. And if I'm putting significant amounts of money into an investment, I want the portability, the practicality of gold over silver. But at the same time, the volatility of silver allows more plays right now, more potential, and the premium on silver allows more plays and potential. So if I was presented with buying £10,000 worth of spot price gold, I mean, all I can do with that is just hold it and just wait for spot price to go up. If I buy £10,000 worth of spot price silver, then theoretically there's nothing stopping me from turning around and trying to flip that for 5% more and making, 5% on 10 grand is not to be shied at. That's 500 quid. And theoretically, one could do that pretty quickly. If there was an opportunity to buy 10 grand's worth of spot price, I mean, if it was coins, you'd make even more. But if there was an opportunity to do it in silver bars, not that, I wouldn't bother because I'd just buy it and I'd melt it down and I'd use it one day for my business. And there's other problems about doing it en masse. You become a trader, you have to pay income tax on it and all this stuff and VAT thresholds and all of that. But if you were just a hobby traderist, is that a word? It is now. Then you could theoretically do that. And if presented with that opportunity, you'd have more opportunity to make money out of the silver than you would the gold. And that's, I think, a really interesting and telling thing, because silver, as I've said so many times before, you have to work for your returns on silver. You don't have to work for your returns on gold. Gold works for you, silver you have to work for. But if you're buying it at spot price, then half the work's done for you, if that makes sense. So they're not easy to come by, those deals, but where you do find them, you find that they go very quickly. And if I put up these silver bars up on the Silver Forum or on various different social media platforms right now, if I put up on my website through the Buyers Club, silver at spot price, it would go within minutes, seconds. I mean, I've put silver up at like £2-3 an ounce over spot, and it goes within minutes and seconds as well. So it is, I think, a very interesting question to ask yourself. What would you truly buy? And then the question is whether you would hold it or not. Now, I can't crystal ball tell you where the price of silver and gold are going to be over any given time period, but as a seasoned stacker, as somebody who's been buying this stuff for 9 years, I've seen the potential that it has over a long period of time to grow and protect your money. Whether or not that buying power is truly preserved, because the way the world is right now, is another question and matter entirely. But I think it's quite an interesting thought experiment to really go for. And I think deep down, the vast majority of people really would buy the silver. Now, here's the sort of $1 million question, which I'll extrapolate up. If you had £1 million worth to buy in silver or gold, you'd buy £1 million worth of gold every day, because £1 million worth of silver, I haven't even done the maths ahead of time. Let's just quickly do the math. So £1 million, if you bought it at spot price, let's call it £30 and 50 pence an ounce, you'd be buying 31,000 ounces. If we divide that by 32.15, that's nearly a metric ton of silver, 987 kilos worth of silver. That is a little bit too much to store. Whereas the equivalent amount in gold is, again, I haven't done the maths. Let's do the maths quickly. £1 million worth of gold divided by 2,700. It's 370 ounces worth of gold. So times 31.105, that's 11 kilos. So you can see the difference, can't you? I mean, it would be a marvellous thing. It's still a lot, 11 kilos, don't get me wrong. You're not going to be running a marathon with 11 kilos in your pockets. But at the same time, if you had just this much stacked up, and that would be the stack of dreams, wouldn't it? Well, it'd be 11 really, wouldn't it, for 11 kilos worth? But 11 kilos worth of gold stacked up like that. And it actually wouldn't look like this. It would be half the height of this, because gold is, of course, nearly twice as dense as silver. So, yeah, interesting little thought experiment. Everyone would go for £1 million worth of gold over £1 million worth of silver. The storage alone on the silver would be a nightmare. Taking delivery of it would be a nightmare. God, it would be crazy. Anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. Thank you all for watching. For the Cool Kids Club, quote me. We need a serial number. We haven't done a serial number for a while, so let's do one of these StoneX bars. So quote me serial number SNX11852. If you do that, then I will know that you're cool and you watch to the end of my videos. Otherwise, that's it from me. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you on the next one. As always, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.